So I don't need to define what a commodity is. We all know the goods which we are using for various things. Either it can be an agricultural commodities or any kind of a raw material which we used for production of any products and the services. So sometimes, okay. So now when I say types of commodities, maybe in your school days, we started learning about the different types of commodities as like agri commodities and non-agri commodities. When it comes to agri commodities, again, I'm just giving a basic idea on commodities. So like pulses, cereals, spices, fibers, oil and oil seeds. Again, you know the each and every commodity which comes under pulses. The every commodity which comes under cereals, right? In general, I'm talking about spices like chili, turmeric, and all pepper, cardamom. So like all these kind of spices. So fibers, cotton, okay. So and all these kind of cotton, so fibers, oil and oil seeds, maybe like soya bean, and all these kind are comes under oil and oil seeds. So these are all some sort of agri commodities in terms of products. And when it comes to non-agri commodities, basically we can categorize as metals, and again the metals can be classified as base metals and the precious metals, and also the energy products. So base metal, we all know aluminum, copper, nickel, zinc, tin, lead, and steel, everything. And when it comes to precious metals, it's like gold, silver, diamond, platinum. Maybe you can go further if based on the chemistry like palladium, rhodium, and so many other products. When it comes to energy, so predominantly we are using crude oil and the natural gas, sometimes even electricity. Okay, so maybe either you can take it as a product. So these are all some energy products. So these are all various commodities when it comes to the commodity markets. On the other side, like what we discussed about the market, so here also we all know what is the retail market is, so where we can buy all these commodities at a small quantity, and we know the different wholesale market. Let's say for example, if I'm talking about chili, so basically we know Guntur is the wholesale market. If I'm talking about turmeric, Nizamabad. If I'm talking about gold, either Ahmedabad or Mumbai is going to be the wholesale marketplace. So whereas retail, I can buy in any jewelers in any cities, even in the urban or villages. Now, so these are all kind of retail versus wholesale market. And the other way, so there is a market. Now, there is something called OTC market. So when I say OTC market, which is considered as over the counter markets. So what is over the counter markets? So which is nothing but just like, let's say for example, if I'm going to the jeweler, I'm going to stay in front of the cash counter. I'm going to stay in front of the delivery counter. So I'm going to stay in front of the salesman. So that's what over the counter transaction is going to be. Either you can call it as OTC market, or you can also call it as physical market when it comes to commodity markets. On the other way, I can also buy gold through commodity exchanges. Okay, so probably we don't have a spot exchange here, but at least we can go for some exchange traded products. Maybe if you look at the major agricultural produce committee or the farmer producers organizations, sometimes they do have some mechanism other than the OTC market. They also hold some prices in the respective areas. Sometimes that can also be considered as exchange traded products, but predominantly since we are dealing with the kind of NSE, BSE, MCX, and various other exchanges, so we call it as exchange traded products. And here also the big market is spot and derivatives market. So commodity market, so far if you look at the electronic based spot exchange like equity, we don't have. And that's where I was talking about farmer producers organization. Sometimes we can call it as a spot market. So there we can go and we can see the prices in the market, and I can buy the products immediately. So there also, when I say immediately, it varies. So there the spot definition varies depending on the quantity. Let's say if I'm going to buy 1 kg rice, probably I'll pay, the transaction will happen and the settlement also happen immediately. Rather, if I'm going to buy 100 kgs, imagine I don't carry 100 kgs. Now I may transact, I may make the payment, but the settlement will be done by the delivery partner, and they may take half an hour or 1 hour time frame. So the definition varies. Instead, if I'm going to buy 5 metric tons of rice, so your loading and unloading will take times, and your vehicle availability, your logistics availability is going to define the spot market. And that's why I said the commodity definition of a spot, not like in financial market, I cannot consider as T+2. It varies from transaction to transaction depending on the location and the size. Now, we have also got something called derivatives market, which we are going to discuss little later. Okay, so these are all small introduction about the commodities, and I don't need to talk about the prices. Okay, and each and every commodity will have a price code. I cannot say, let's say, for example, what is the price of rice. Okay, it is always is going to be either quoted in terms of price per kg or price per quintal or price per metric ton. So these are all obviously for every product we are going to have a different price quotation.